over 100 yards a weekend to go, as it'll be the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Miami Dolphins. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. From beautiful South Florida, there's a look at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Minnesota Vikings and the Miami Dolphins. It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. They will be led out by their 6'4" quarterback from UCLA. It's Josh Rosen.
Coming off of a loss their last time out, I think he's just seeking to make a bigger impact on the game. He threw a touchdown pass, didn't throw an interception. I think he just wants to jump those numbers up in terms of flinging it around and letting his receivers get into the end zone.
Play action here with Rosen. He'll have a first down past the 40. The catch and run pays off to the tune of 35 yards.
Well, partner, it's pretty simple. One thing you don't want to see defensively on the very first snap of the game, some guy running free like we just saw there.
Heck of a start for this offense, no doubt. So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10. Off the play fake, here's Rosen. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
Now this one over the middle into the hands of his tight end, complete.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now gives him a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
2nd down pass play got him 8 yards. Now they've got a 3rd and a couple remaining. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up 4th.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
They were probably hoping to get him a little bit closer for a shorter field goal, but he was able to get it done from deep.
Nice little tester for him to begin things, huh? I think he was open for a little bit more of a chip shot. Instead, they made him stretch it out a little bit, but he's got to feel great now that he put it through the pipes.
This fielded at the 2. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. A first carry for a Miami native. This is Dalvin Cook. 25 yards, the pickup there, and also a 1st down.
This is a little bit like baseball here. Strong up the middle. Both sides want to be that. In this case, the offense ends up winning the ultimate battle.
And those big runs between the tackles, that's a little deflating for a defense, isn't it?
It really is because that's where your strength's supposed to be. You're supposed to be in a spot where they can't make that yardage there. You're supposed to send them outside. Not in this case.
They run again on 1st down. Cook. And he's able to carve out about 6 there, down to the 37. There are the numbers for Cook from a week ago. 19 carries, 118 yards.
Well, we know they've clinched a playoff spot, but there's plenty of football left to play. And I'm a proponent of continuing to do what you've done throughout the season, especially with teams that are heavy run teams. Because if you throttle back too early, you lose the rhythm of the run game, not just with the runner, but with the offensive line as well.
On the ground, this is Saquon Barkley. And he got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. Got what they needed there. The drive continues with a 9-yard pickup. Had a chance to maybe limit them to 3 if they could have gotten that stop there, but a new set of downs.
And with a new set of downs, you got to take the mentality of the whole thing. Right now, everyone's looking at the offense and saying they've got the advantage. The best defenses just say, okay, new set of downs, gives us another chance to make a play ourselves and maybe change things up.
Now Cook. Xavier Howard up to make the tackle. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. They're in the spot statistically that you don't want to be in against the pass. Number 32 in the league, dead last.
Take those rankings, throw them right out the window, because this is what you prepare for. This is what you practice for. This is what you think about. The ultimate test, taking on the #1 overall offense in the league.
On 2nd down, Cook. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Now Saquon Barkley. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. On 2nd down, it's Cook. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there. Now it'll be 3rd down. And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. On the carry, it's Cook. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. It's a pickup of 4, but they're still a yard short here with 4th down, 4th coming. Their bread and butter is their passing game. After that last play, maybe they need to go back to that passing game.
No, what's been good for them along the way is they understand their identity. They are a passing team, but they do like to mix in the run every now and then just to keep people off balance. Didn't work very well on that one, but all in all, I like their philosophy.
3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Mike Vrabel saw him on the sideline. He didn't even hesitate. They will go for it on 4th. They'll go with a keeper. And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. So the decision to go for it turns out to be a good one. They get a couple of yards, and as a result, the drive keeps moving. It's now 1st and goal. They'll run Cook. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Dalvin Cook, touchdown number 15 of the year. And the Vikings have taken the lead. Now, let's not forget that was all set up by the fourth down conversion earlier in the drive.
Would have been a complete letdown if the drive doesn't culminate this way, wouldn't it? If you're going to go for it on fourth down, your intention is to make sure you get a touchdown out of the drive, and that's exactly what they did. Converted, and they converted a second time for 6 points.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. You know, in our research packet this week, prepping for the game, so many articles from the local beat writer about the offensive struggles of this team and what will they do this offseason. What do you think they'll do?
Well, number one, they'll turn to their self-scouting report. And every team that's any good does this. They have outside groups. Check out their team, scout them, and tell you who can play, who can't play, and reasons why. Some of it may just be health. They have to get some guys healthy and back out on the field. But overall, evaluate this squad and make the changes that you need to.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. That's caught out wide by Stills. 7 yards there and a first down.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
Check, 59.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Throws him, and that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. Draw play. This is Hines. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
And now out comes Minnesota. And that last drive, it was all about the ground game, ground and pound.
And I don't care how we're playing the game these days, offensive linemen still want to fire out and smack the guy opposite them and move the football on the ground. They feel better about that. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to play, and that's how they got it done.
Yeah, and they got it for a touchdown last drive. Let's see what happens here.
Mark 96, Mark 96. I got you, sir.
A 10th carry in the game for Cook. Room here to run. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
They were not fooling around at all, were they? 2nd and short, and they brought out the heavy package. Almost felt like the super heavy package against that defense, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they expected that much beef up front, and it turned into an easy first down conversion. A first down carry for Barkley. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. He'll get 15 and a Vikings first down. Although his reputation as a speedy runner precedes him, it's always fun to watch him work.
It is eye-opening, isn't it? Because when you see him get the ball and just go, in addition to that speed, it helps out his blockers. They don't have to hold blocks for long because he's just going to speed right past them.
It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd and 12.
Well, with the kind of half he's had, I think we can forgive him that run, right? Not every run's going to be a big play, is it?
No, and also the blocking just wasn't there. No room to run.
Yeah, defensively, they got to find a way to build on that because he's eating them alive in the first half.
And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
It also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll send you up to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there, and he'll have stats and scores from a busy Sunday in the NFL. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher third down looming. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles. We're only in the second quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense, because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. Might have to think about some misdirection or something to try and get him away from the ball.
Third down, Dalvin Cook. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Line of scrimmage, the 2. They can still get a first down if they just get a yard out of this on 4th and very short. Looking to throw. Carmichael. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Dalvin Cook. He scored on the ground and through the air. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie. Because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
Point after, right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
They'll look to throw on first down with Josh Rosen. And Stills bringing it in. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Now Rosen looking to throw. They'll find Hines out of the backfield. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. That one good for 13 and a Dolphin first down. Here's Rosen to throw. It's complete. Stills. The Vikings going to signal for their first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. First foray into the red zone for Miami. 1st and 10 at the 19. Rosen to throw again. On the left side, this is Stills. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Now the Dolphins will use the last of their timeouts as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. So not quite a 1st and goal just yet as they come up now 2nd and inches. Again, it's Rosen. That's complete to Hines out of the backfield. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 4 yards on the play, and that leads to the 1st and goal. All right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spend the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now a run with Cook. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
How about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield, and spills the play.
And he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week because of plays just like that.
Let's go, defense. Here we go.
Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. Give him 3 yards on the run there. That still leaves him with a difficult 3rd and 8 coming up.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
To throw on 3rd down, Carmichael. He's got a first down and then some at midfield. And finally out of bounds all the way down at about the 2. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone, I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
And this one will wind up with him losing yardage. Back to the 4-yard line. When you throw it this close to the goal line, usually you're thinking touchdown. Here they actually complete it but lose yardage.
When you're this close to the goal line, you have to anticipate that maybe you're going to see a defense that you can make a case that there's 11 in the box. There's just no room. So I'm with you. You've got to find a way to push things downfield a little bit. Any type of space is better than what we just saw there. And that end result, not one that's satisfactory to them. That's a really alert defense there, because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Dalvin Cook with touchdown number 3 here in this game, and 17 now on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
Whoa! He just yanked that one well to the left, and no good. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. This will be taken very short. So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Now Rosen. Looking left side, he's got it. Complete. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Kenny Stills, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Dolphins are able to cut into this lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts. All right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
So the lead back down to 10 as things get a little more interesting, and the kick is away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And you see Dalvin Cook in the offense heading back out. He's been a good workhorse. I know we use the word workhorse a lot, but he's been a good workhorse for him in this one.
No doubt about it, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you're looking for if you're a back, because that means everything's come together for you. Big guys up front have created space. You've run through it. You probably got some help even from the wide receivers who want to catch passes as opposed to block, but they're helping out too.
Yeah, everyone's pitching in. He's had a good game. Again, it's Cook. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. The second down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
You know, it's become cliche, but we have seen it and observed it. When runners have days like what we're seeing right now, they often take their offensive linemen out for steaks afterwards, don't they? They don't go buy them dinner. But after a play like that, he might reduce it, might go to the corner and just grab a hot dog or two, huh?
Hey, I mean, they've still been blocking for him well in this game. They don't get one mulligan up front.
Okay, so what we're saying then is we're going petite filet instead of porterhouse.
8 ounce. 8 ounce is good.
All right, just checking.
Give them 18 there and give the Vikings a first down. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary, figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
They run it again with Cook. They give him about 4 on the play, but he's marked short, so it'll be 3rd and about the length of the football.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop him. Back to throw. Carmichael gets this out to Saquon Barkley. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 19.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen, because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and this is what we saw there. A nice pickup for a first down.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. They'll keep it on the ground. Cook. So he got free of 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or 2 short here with 3rd down coming up.
6-man. Check cross, check cross, check cross.
We're off to the 4th quarter here in Week 15. Happy holidays to all. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. On 3rd down, it's Cook. And he gets the first down yardage he needs before he's brought down at the 6. The gain of 5 that time gives him the conversion and makes it 1st and goal. So another 3rd down conversion, and now they've got a 1st and goal. They run, Cook. And that'll get him halfway there as he takes it from the 6 to the 3-yard line.
Well, they made the play there, and I'll guarantee you their coaches and the other players are screaming at them about their pride. Come on, guys. He's already gotten in 3 times. You can't give up a 4th one on that play.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Saquon Barkley, his 19th touchdown now on the season. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. CD, it seemed like they were... so focused on the guys out wide, they forgot about him out of the backfield.
That's a really good point because you've got to communicate, and oftentimes when you start counting receivers, that's exactly what you do. You start from the widest receiver, work your way inside. Who gets lost sometimes? The back in the backfield. That's exactly what happened there.
And he got into the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. And out come the Dolphins now. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Rosen and the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10 at their own 24. Now the pass hauled in by Kenny Stills. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackle. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Throwing again on second down. Rosen. Defensively, you look at the numbers. Another incomplete passer we just saw, and they're under 200 yards passing for the game, so they've done their job on that side of the ball.
Yeah, recently I was actually working a game where a quarterback had a streak of 5 straight games without a 200-yard game, and that was a big talk, both in his town and amongst his team. How do we get the passing game going? So big credit to them, holding them under 200 today.
Their already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down. Rosen will throw. One thing I think that's safe. Oh, it's out. Smith lost it. And the Vikings pick up the football. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And a terrific return there. They're finally able to corral him down near the 11-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You say an afternoon to forget. Absolutely. They'll run on 1st down. It's Cook, and he'll be dropped at about the 11 after only a yard. Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they've got an answer for it.
Call it no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run?
And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. An 11-yard touchdown. And the Vikings capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that, truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. Extra point right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So the Dolphins offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far at 2nd down. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. They blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
On 3rd down, Rosen. Got a man open. That's Devontae Parker, complete. And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the first at the 32. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes and they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. They had the double-digit lead at halftime, and they have continued to roll. They're hard to stop right now.
I think what we're seeing is an example of a team that has it figured out in this ball game. And whatever the adjustments are the defense has made hasn't slowed them, hasn't phased them at all. They either anticipated them or they've been so far ahead that they just can't catch up.
Now it's just a search to add to the lead. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And the ball is knocked out. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And the return stops at the 39-yard line. Well, he did what he's known for. He made the catch, then he turned into a runner, took the contact, and coughed it up.
And all I remember as a player, when they catch the ball, when those acrobatic guys catch it, you have to make them pay sometimes. You have to put it on them, big tackle, knock the ball free, anything you can do to slow them down.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. The intended target, the tight end, Austin Seferian-Jenkins. And that'll bring up second down. To throw is Rosen. And to the tight end here, Seferian-Jenkins. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. Second down pass play got them 8 yards. Now they've got a third and a couple remaining. And now it's Rosen looking, and that is incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back popped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw it downfield.
17 yards, first down, Vikings. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him.
And that's caught inside the 35. And he takes it all the way down to the 32. A big play there for Minnesota. 48 yards. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Looking to throw. Carmichael. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
And they just hit another big completion there. And I think in days gone by in the NFL, you might have asked, is this a little bit of overkill? Is this rubbing it in? I don't think people feel the same way nowadays.
The age-old argument. Then you could say on the other side, if you're going to get angry about it, stop it, right?
Go ahead and stop me. And I think a lot of the times they just look at it like, let's just play the game. And however it turns out, it turns out.
Now it looks like he'll throw here. That's complete. He's got Barkley out of the backfield. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Saquon Barkley with touchdown number 20 on the year as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that, and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team, and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them.